because obviously, if I know that if I have negative thoughts, then it will come to negative results. So I have some fear about them, but do you think that I'm on a good path, like how I'm trying to handle it?
Well, there's a difference between just letting them be and hearing them out and
Mm-hmm.
doing something about them. You see,
Mm-hmm.
I previously would deliberately throw myself into those negative thoughts and trick myself into thinking, hey, if I just put myself into this negative mindset, I'll be able to pull myself out immediately. But the reality was, I was putting myself into those thoughts and I was allowing them to take presence, to take dominance, to take control, and pulling myself out. It actually became a repeat pattern of me trying to trick myself into thinking I was doing some sort of self improvement by controlling my thoughts, but I was actually allowing that to essentially take over, and I wasn't doing anything to change the energy or the actions around that, because it was
Mm-hmm.
just I was having it be present, but I wasn't being present with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was a long time ago. But I would
Mm-hmm.
think the worst things possible, and I would allow
Mm-hmm.
myself to do that. And that's not necessarily what it is that you want, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's okay that they are there, but I should take some actions to
Yeah,
take action
Bec-
to.
because
Oh.
because the reality of the situation is the reason why you have these is because, like you said, they're trying to protect you. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to show you a better way. But everything good in life is on the opposite side of fear and all of your insecurities, right? So if you're becoming more cautious and more boundaried and more like shrinking rather than open, you're constricting, then what you need to do is you need to allow the openness and the fear to take precedence, where you actually are addressing the fear by confronting it, by having the self compassion to say, hey, this pain is here for a reason, and I love it so much that I'm going to try and do this thing and experience it differently with someone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the more you have these interactions with those relationships, the more different reminders you get in working and having a relationship with the universe, whereby everything becomes connected and helps you become more whole and complete.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what actions should I take? I think that's the good question for myself.
Um, when you get hurt, that's an open wound, right? It's bringing you back to the state of when you first had that wound. Ah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So since it's an open wound, it can easily be violated. It can
Mm-hmm.
people can stick their fingers inside of you and you'd be like, ah. So the reality is, you're sensitive for a reason, but that's also, in that moment of distress, the time that you can be able to address it and to create
Mm-hmm.
closure and healing for that wound.
Mm-hmm.
So what you need
Yeah,
to
but
do is to gain awareness around the situation, why it's there, and to enable yourself to feel the energy and transform it by self reflecting in the process of gaining awareness around the thoughts and the energy, and find a way to present yourself with clarity around the situation of what it is that you want, so that you can bring that clarity and the actions behind it back into the situation that you need to then readdress. And because you have
mm-hmm.
clarity and you're acting with conscious awareness from the place where you are now grounded in, rather than, your foundation is on loose footing, you now
Mm-hmm.
have a place to navigate from where you have core strength and create changes in the external, which also creates changes on the internal. But you, in self-reflecting and navigating that process and feeling your emotions and thoughts subjectively, you're also gaining an awareness and healing yourself in the process, because you're validating how it is that you feel too by being present with
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be seen in a way that
Mm-hmm.
authentically serves you, not repeat the patterns that inauthentically you have been, that you think
Mm-hmm.
are serving you, but they're actually holding you back from being the true version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Free.
Okay. Okay. Mm,
And with my method, you use a camera. You film yourself talking and you observe that.
really?
Yeah, and you play it
Oh,
back, and you go and execute in the real world, and after writing a goal, it's very tangible.
oh, sorry. Say it again. So I video myself and I film myself
So you
and
you film yourself expressing your thoughts or your ideas
mhm. You mean like
into
to
the camera.
others or just for myself? Like,
It's
or does it
really
matter?
the energy is very much geared toward yourself. You're speaking to yourself to self motivate, to self soothe, to create new ideas around what it is you need to do. It's basically video journaling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or vlogging for healing.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what challenge you're going through, you're going to directly address it. So what that
Mm-hmm.
enables you to do is when you play it back, you are able to have an objective observer's perspective, right? But you just
Mm-hmm.
expressed on the camera something subjectively, where you felt something emotionally, and when you play it back, you're also feeling something subjectively internally, whereas it's either aligning with what it is that you're saying or it's not, because you know that the words that you're saying are actually a lie and the narrative you're playing out doesn't genuinely serve you. So you need to catch that lie and grasp it and transform it into a new reality so that you do the things that
Mm-hmm.
do serve you, that do genuinely make you feel better, but also help you grow and expand your sense of self and your authentic truth so you can express that out to the world. That's where you
Mm-hmm.
create the written form of it and you purify your thought process and create an actual tangible goal. And you create an energy around what that outcome of that goal would look like. And you enable yourself to manifest that outcome by visualizing that and then going and doing it. And then after you've done that and you've confronted whatever problem you just experienced, you come back and do the video journaling again. So that you're in this constant process of learning to keep your promises, becoming a leader who first learns to follow their own lead by following through with their own commitments, right? And that enables that courage when having your actions meet your ambitions, which is discipline, enables you
Mm-hmm.
to create that momentum that allows you to
Mm-hmm.
blow through all of the obstacles so that they are no longer problems. They're nothing to you
Mm-hmm.
because you're consistently moving forward and becoming a better person where you don't have to present so much awareness to that thing that was recently such a big issue that it would take over your life and stop you from doing what you were doing. When you get any sense of the trigger of that, you're like, I know what the truth is and I'm going to do that because I know that's going to make me feel better. And not only is it going to help me, but it's going to help others too. So you're
Mm-hmm.
expressing to yourself, but you're aware that somebody else might see this. So you are aware that you are acting in service. And if you have a
Mm-hmm.
service based mentality, then the way that you act, remember how I mentioned documenting instead of creating? The process of your thought process is if I'm doing the authentic thing that is the right thing, and I'm trying to express this, and it is my truth, and I'm growing in the process, then other people can benefit from what it is I've learned too. So by having that
Mm-hmm.
on video, you can present that and share that, and other people can grow from relating to your story, relating to your pain, and that makes
Ah.
vulnerability at scale something that creates a family of truth.
Oh. Ah, I get it. It's so sweet. It's nice. Oh, and um, do you have a plan for it with your like I don't know how to call myself to you now, like with your members? Uh, are you planning it that every member who you work with can do this in a group or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. So there will be a yeah, like a messenger group or a Facebook group, I guess, and then everybody can share their thoughts,
Yes.
stories, and okay, okay. Sorry, I just need to yeah, need to see how it
With with
will work.
with the intention of going public with their thoughts and ideas. Does that make sense? Because the idea is
Hmm.
you need to be transparent. Because when you are
Hmm.
accountable to yourself, then you are accountable to the world and how you have responsibility with others. Your actions influence something else. So therefore, you trying to provide value through leading yourself to do the right thing enables
Oh,
you to expand in a way that your service based mentality enables you to act in heart centered awareness. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense? If you try
Yes,
and
it makes
reserve your
sense.
thoughts and keep them to yourself, or you don't allow yourself to question your own thought process because you're afraid of other people, seeing you how you are. The goal is
Mm-hmm.
to obviously see yourself, hear yourself, feel yourself, and deeply understand yourself so that you can question your own thoughts and your ideas without feeling like you're going to run headlong into a brick wall. So if there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong that you can do, then there's no way that you can, somehow find misalignment with your truth because you're trying to act in a way that helps not only serve you, but serve others too. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
way that is going to allow you to target the narcissism within you that is causing you to only think about your own best interests,
Mm-hmm.
whereas you try and find how can I have my best interests and the best interests of other people too? How can I have myself and others too at the
Mm-hmm.
same time? So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, by making this duplicatable process of what I call awareness documentation, something that
Mm-hmm.
anybody can learn, and you learn this, you go and reteach somebody else how to utilize this process. It's basically setting up the framework for an antivirus to an anti-human society, and
Oh.
a slow, actually very fast process of targeting and healing the narcissism inside of us, so long as it's curable, which to some degree some isn't. you know but
Uh-huh.
that's the idea, and then spreading this and making a movement out of it. So it's vlogging for healing, a modern movement building community, and then creating a whole concept and vehicle around the idea that I don't get paid for what I do, I get paid for who I am. So assisting people with a vehicle that would enable them to make money with it too. So in other
Mm-hmm.
words, they can do sales, they can reteach this process and benefit through that. And if they get to a point where they're in the experience of emotional freedom and they learn how to work with people, then they can become a certified emotional freedom coach for adoption. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
few avenues of what I currently imagine working with. But essentially, you know, I want to reward people for if they deserve it, and
Mm-hmm.
because it's all about accepting where you currently are at, so that you can move forward by having a positive relationship with your pain and your struggles and everything that you are experiencing, which is people and the world and these leaves that hit me or the flies and mosquitoes that are bothering me right now. You know, you find a way to have a relationship with the universe, and when you give to the universe, it gives back to you, and it becomes this nice process of constant self-reflection, constant self-healing, constant growth, and obviously manifestations of what it is that you desire as well, which allows you to expand, the universe to expand, and everybody to benefit in that process. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to shatter the image of degradation and replace it with the mode for
Mm-hmm.
developing opportunity. That is why I also present some sort of methodology plus a vehicle that enables people to have options in their life.